These are Dark Knight CDs. TBN, Dark Mind, Rampart, Shadow Wall, Living Dead. I'm going to talk about the easy one first. I'm going to save TBN and Living Dead for last because I got a lot to say about both of those. Rampart, 20%, 90 seconds, solid. Shadow Wall, 30%, 2 minutes, solid. Dark Mind is probably the worst cooldown in the game because it only works on magic. Now, how can you tell if something is magic or not? There's two different ways you can tell. One way is you get hit by the attack and you parry it, so you know it's physical because you can't parry magic. Another way is to get an amazing program called ACT. Here it is right there. Right there, this is it. Now, I know what you're saying. Your favorite streamer doesn't use ACT. Wrong. Wrong. They do. They're just hiding it like pussies. They're hiding it like cowards. They fucking use it. Yes, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Oh, but I admire him because he doesn't use it. I got some bad news for you, brother. So there's two different ways. You either parry it or you just get ACT. Just fucking get ACT. If you're going to raid in this game, get ACT. I'm going to say this because if I don't say this, people are going to do this. Do not bully people with ACT. If you bully people with ACT, this is what happens to your penis. See that? Your penis will actually shrink. Every time you bully someone with ACT, your penis shrinks. Everybody in here wants a big dick. They don't want a small pee-pee, okay? Don't be that small pee-pee guy, okay? Now, this only works on magic. Being on a 60-second timer, I think this is probably the worst cooldown in the game. Another one that is comparable to it is camouflage. I'll cover that later. It's a gunbreaker ability. But in a lot of cases, I would rather have camouflage than this. The reason why Dark Mind is bad is purely because it is the only cooldown in the game that is damage type specific. Now, is this good on magic? Well, obviously. I mean, good is kind of a stretch. I would say it's decent. I mean, 20% is 20%. The problem I have with this ability is that it's magic only. There's no reason why this should be magic only. There will come points in time where this cooldown is absolutely, completely fucking useless. They actually nerfed this ability, which I thought that the nerf was completely unjustified. This used to be 30% instead of 20. I don't understand why they nerfed it. I don't get it, but they did, and it is what it is. Real quickly, I will go over Dark Missionary because someone brought it up. You can use this as a personal, actually. A good example of this is in E2. For those of you that aren't aware of E2, the boss did Magic Busters, and he followed it up with a raid wide that was also magic. So what you would do is you would pop this halfway through the cast. This would cover the buster, and it would also cover the raid. So it is possible to double dip with this CD. It has to be very specific. It's very specific. In most cases, you're just going to use this for the raid. In most cases, okay. And there's always going to be cases where you can double dip like that. Or let's say there's not any serious raid damage for a while, you can use it as a personal, and then it'll be back up in time. There's always cases like that. But like I said, this is not a fight specific. This is not a fight specific. This is not an optimization. This is a don't be bad. And this is going to be mostly for raid wides, okay? Mostly. Okay, TBN. This is a pretty powerful CD. Me and other people, we have vastly different opinions on this CD, okay? I think this CD is good. I think it is good. Some people actually come to this CD. They think it is that good. Their nipples are out to here. That's how good these people think that this CD is. The CD is severely overrated in my opinion. Is it good? Yes. Is it the best thing to tanking? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No fucking way. The best thing to tanking was Inner Beast. Unfortunately, that got fucking axed. Anyway, TBN is very good, but it does come at a cost. It does cost 3,000 mana. Dark Knight is the only tank that their defensive is tied to their DPS. So if you want to use TBN, it requires 3,000 mana. So basically, you're putting 500 potency. You're using 3,000 mana to put a shield on yourself. If the shield pops, meaning if the shield is destroyed, it will refund you with a free Edge of Shadow. So when you use this ability, you're risking 500 potency. Now, in a lot of cases, if you use it smart, it's not really a risk, but there is always a risk that it will not pop. Either you pop it late, you pop it too soon, maybe you put it on the tank and then they use hollowed ground, which does 0 damage. Now you're fucked. There's a lot of that. I am not saying that this cooldown is not good. I do think this cooldown is good. What I am saying is the fact that it's tied to your damage is absolutely fucking ridiculous when no other cooldown in the game is like that. The fact that this cooldown is a little stronger than some of the other cooldowns in the game, and it's only stronger on single hits. It's not stronger on multi-hits because shields, someone mentioned earlier how like they said it was really good on flare breaths, I think, and that's not true because mitigation, like that's not how shields work. Shields are really good for single hit. They're not good for multiple hits because the first hit that the shield is off. Is this cooldown good? Yes. Is it overrated? In my opinion, yes. Vastly overrated, actually. A lot of times in this game, when there's a tank buster, you just invuln the buster. And in that case, personal cooldowns, their value diminishes. If you die to auto attacks in a lot of cases, that's just because your healers are bad. That has nothing to do with CDs. Isn't it the best tanking CD in the game at the moment? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. If anyone else tells you that, they don't know how to tank. If someone is good at tanking and they tell you that, they're fucking wrong. They're just wrong. We just have a different of opinion. On paper, this is the strongest. But the thing is those people that say that, they don't actually play the game, or if they do play the game, they don't understand how the tanking in this game works. Because a lot of times you're just going to invuln. Why would you CD a buster when you can just invuln it? So because you invuln so many busters, that means that a big chunk of damage is coming from auto attacks. So I don't know about you, but if you've ever tried to use TBN on auto attacks, that don't work out too well. You have two tanks. Both of them have an invuln. You use one, then the other uses one, and then there's a very high chance that the next buster you get, you're either going to be able to kitchen sink, which means literally use every single fucking cooldown you have, and then the other tank is going to use every single fucking cooldown they have. See what I'm trying to say? This CD, the reason why I think it's overrated is because the extra value, the extra strength of the CD, you don't actually see very often. This is more powerful than Raw Intuition. Raw Intuition is a 6-second 20% mitigation. This is more powerful than that. But Raw Intuition is free. This is not. And when you use Raw Intuition, which is the same time you use Blackest Night, like if you're taking a tank buster, chances are you're going to have Vengeance and Rampart as well. So there's literally no way that you can possibly die. You have 3 CDs. The extra value that you gain out of TBN, you don't see that value because you're not going to use it. Like, you're not even using the value. Because even if you don't have TBN on, you're still going to live. So in E10, for example, the first buster, you invuln. Okay, so TBN doesn't matter there. It's a multi-hit buster anyway, so TBN sucks on multi-hits. Sucks is the wrong word. It's not as strong as other CDs. So you're going to invuln. If there's a warrior in the party, you're going to invuln the third one. Basically, all of the busters that you don't invuln, you have like all of your cooldowns for. And the busters that you don't cooldown, you invuln. The strength of a single cooldown severely diminishes by the way that you tank in this game. So what I'm saying is we should get rid of invulns. Not necessarily. There's a lot better ways. I don't think that we should get rid of any invulns. I think that we should make the bosses do more damage. Tanks and healers in this game, they're so powerful when it comes to mitigating damage, man. All right, now I want to talk about Living Dead. When you use Living Dead, boom, you're activated, or you get this buff, okay? Unable to be KO'd by most attacks. Status changed to Walking Dead in most cases when HP is reduced to 0. So you pop this, you get Living Dead. Then after you die, you get a buff called Walking Dead. You're a zombie. Walking Dead, you cannot die. There's a timer. You cannot die during the timer. If the timer runs out, you will be dead. How do you fix that? Before Walking Dead timer runs out, HP is 100% restored. The effect will fade if 100% is not restored. You will be KO'd. Some people actually think that this is 20 seconds of hollowed ground. Yes, some people actually think that. Now, how did they come to that number? Because 10 seconds plus 10 seconds equals 20 seconds. That's how they came to that number. That is a real story. That's a true story. It's the same people who overhype the fuck out of this ability too. That is not correct. Living Dead is more like when you pop this, you hope that you don't die after it. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. Let's roll the clip. Before we did this poll, I asked these healers, since we don't have a white mage, do you want me to switch to Dark Knight? And I was told this, and I'm not even kidding. 2 EDs, too easy. 2 EDs, too easy. That's what they told me. Okay, keep that in mind. 2 EDs. For those of you that don't know, ED stands for Essential Dignity. That is a healer ability, okay? 2 EDs, too easy. I was assured. Now let's watch what happens. Come on, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2! I'm in the grave! I fucking knew it, dude! I fucking knew it! What a fuck! This is me! This is me! I'm in the grave! I'm in the fucking grave! I told you! I told you! You want me to switch? 2 EDs too easy! 2 EDs too easy. Fucking idiot. Okay, now let's review. Mistakes were obviously made here. Now I have Walking Dead. I'm supposed to be healed here, but was I healed? Was I healed here? No, I was not healed. So, you know, look, oh, there's one. Oh, there's two. Oh, but wait. 2 EDs. Now that doesn't look too easy to me. Let's fucking review. There's one. There's two. But look, I'm not even close. Look at this big chunk of health that I'm missing. You know? Oh my God. Panic Hamster. What the fuck's going on? Soul Eater. Look, I even crit my Soul Eater. And now I'm dead. And now I'm fucking dead! Living Dead. It has some issues. Living Dead, in my opinion, is the worst invuln in the game. Invuln meaning, you know, invulnerable. There's Living Dead, there's Hallowed Ground, Home Gang, and then there's Super Bolide. You can make an argument for Living Dead being good in a static setting. I think that in a static setting, Living Dead is not such a joke. Even in statics, I've died. And you know who thinks it's funny? When you die in a static setting, everybody but you. Everybody. 7 people gigglers are in your chat. I'm like, I can't believe he died, dude. Yo, come on, Ron. Why'd you let him die, dude? Come on, brother. Why'd you do him like that, dude? Ah, fuck it. Just res him, dude. Yo, he's not getting up. Oh, he's not getting up. He's not getting up. Uh-oh. Is he AFK? Is he pissed? Come on, dude. Get up. Come on, dude. My purse. My purse, dude. We need you. Get up, man. No, how about you fucking heal me, idiot? How about you fucking heal me next time? I'm not getting up. Fuck you, man. See? And that's when statics break up. How you handle tank busters, how you handle like recurring damage like auto attacks and stuff. What I'm going to tell you is just going to be some very basic general advice. You typically want to use your CDs from shortest to longest. So that way, by the time you use your longest, your shortest is going to be back up, okay? A tank buster is typically a cast bar, but ideally, man, honestly, if you're just learning a fight, you're going to go in there and die. When you're doing a raid, obviously it depends on if you want to go in blind or if you want to go in with prior knowledge. If you want to go in with prior knowledge, then it's super easy. You just either do what they do on the video or something similar to it, or you just invuln the buster. My advice to you would be to go in with prior knowledge, because at this point in the raid tier, I would imagine that a fresh prog blind party, I think, is almost impossible, or no one in the party finder is going to want to help you. Now, if you're a static, that's obviously different. You guys can handle however the fuck it is you want to handle it. So I would recommend looking up a text guide, a video guide, asking questions. You don't even have to look at a guide. You can go into a prog party and you can just ask questions. That's fine too. But going into a party finder blind at this point in the raid tier, you're probably going to get kicked. The fight is already hard enough with a bunch of proggers. But as a general rule, you want to use Rampart, TBN, you know, like I mentioned earlier, save your 3k mana for a TBN on yourself, or maybe the other tank is tanking, you know, help him out. When I blind prog, I'll normally pocket like a Rampart or a Shadow Wall. If there's a cast bar that I'm not familiar with, I'll pop Rampart. I won't pop both. I'll pop Rampart. You know, maybe it's a buster and I'll use TBN on myself. If I waste a TBN, it's fine. It's during blind prog. No harm, no foul. If another cast bar happens and you don't have Rampart, you know, you can use Shadow Wall TBN. Like basically the tank busters in this game, man. The bosses just don't deal a lot of damage in this game. It's like one of those things where there's not a single sentence that I could tell you or a single like paragraph I could say that is going to help you tremendously, other than when you go into something, try to use your shortest to longest first, just because you get the most usages out of them. If and when you're in doubt, just use a cooldown. And I know that sounds like kind of like, really, that's it? Really, just use a cooldown forehead? Yeah. Just if you're scared, use a cooldown.